Hi, Chartguys coming to you with the Fab4 futures. In addition to our Fab4 futures, I'm adding tonight the bond futures and the Seng futures. I'll always go over the 4 basic sectors and then add interesting setups as we find them. So tonight I want to start out with RTY. That is the Russell. The Russell, we have called out this 1331.80 in the chat room. We called it out last night. It doesn't mean it's an absolute brick wall. I mean, the bulls can break through it within a matter of hours. It's not like we know what's going to happen on the right side of the screen. This black void over here, this is what we're trying to shift the odds in our favor in terms of probability based on what's happening on the left side of the chart. So we've had that 50% retrace, and it's really just been clipping the bulls right at the throat here last week and now this week. And we're starting to form just a small upper wick. So I promise I will not play Captain Hindsight in these videos, but I just want to show you what type coverage we provide in the room if you're not a member. So last Thursday, we're really just watching this action, and it did go over 1331.80, but was unable to close above it on the 4-hour. And then today, this morning, 5 a.m. Pacific time, RTY was reaching that resistance, and then we also called out when RTY was approaching the support to cover a part of the position or all, and then you could have re-entered on that chart, and that was the flush into the end of day. And just to show you, again, this won't be on every futures video, but just to show you, excuse these other trades, that this is real money that I'm trading. This is the Russell RTY. This was my Sunday night trade, which I covered a short. I shorted the Russell, and then again today with micros because I wasn't as confident in the setup on the second short. So let's go over those shorts. Okay, so this was Sunday night. So I waited. So this is how we trade in TCG. We look at the larger time frames and we say, okay, we're running up into resistance. Look, we're overbought in this area. We're running into this fib resistance, and I waited for a 5-minute trend change to the downside. So I waited for that higher high, higher low, lower high, lower low break for an entry. So then I covered here around 1300. And then last night, actually it was yesterday day, I covered and I posted this, this day. So I posted this setup at 5 a.m. this morning, and then I covered right at 12.99. So this is 2 trades. They're basically week makers, each trade on a 1-hour chart, and it's I don't want to say stress-free trading. There's no such thing because real money gets involved, and of course, even with the stop loss, we know Thinkorswim can jam up and other brokers, but just to give you an idea of my style of trading and how I really like to trade the waves, ride the waves. So that was my RTY trade. Now let's just zoom out a little bit and look at what actually happened today. We had a 4-hour equilibrium. So we had this higher high, higher low, lower high, higher low, and then we couldn't break this high here of 1333.70, and then we broke this low of 1296.70, and then we got that quick flush. So the levels on RTY, we are just hitting the support 1269.30, then 1245.60. Your next resistance on any bounce is 1317, and then 1332. The odds favor on a bounce a lower high. So from this level to this level, the odds favor a lower high. The question is, will it be a bear flag, or will it be a potential EQ setup where we get a decent bounce up to the EMAs and then have room to form that higher low? Time will only tell. All right, let's move to Nasdaq. On Nasdaq, we have an upper trend line to note. I don't trade trend lines exclusively. It's just an extra edge, but let's just look at it on the daily. You can see it a little clearly where the bulls are just running into this overhead resistance and getting rejected. Also, we have cleared this 0.786 fib, but I just want to draw attention. We're only 2 days into this candle, so we have 3 days left before this candle closes, but this is a pretty significant upper wick. This will require a lot of work on the bulls' behalf in order to close up at the upper end of this candle. Otherwise, this is a bearish reversal candle. So just, again, something else to note. I'd also like to draw real quick Pitchfork. So from the low of December 18th to the high of February to the low of March, I just wanted to show you the Pitchfork and how we're kind of bobbing and weaving within that, and you can really see it on the daily where we had rejection here in this area, we came back down, found support, getting rejection in this area, support here. This will be something that I keep on my radar as well. Pitchfork is not something that I always use in trading, but it's just an added tool to my tool belt. So your levels on Nasdaq are support 906.525 and 903.0. Your resistances are way up at 933.250 and 934.50. All right, let's zoom out on ES. ES, this is the other key sector. So Nasdaq has been carrying the weight for us. ES and RTY have told a different story as far as overall market bullishness. So we have this resistance that we mentioned last night, 0.618 at 29.30. Again, karate chop to the throat for the bulls. And let's just kind of zoom in and look at some levels. Your next support on ES is, and we are hourly oversold now, so we do anticipate a bounce. The question is, will it be a dead cat bounce or will it be a true bounce? And we also mentioned last night that the bears required high volume to pull it down, in which they accomplished that. So your next support is 28.23 and 27.98, which of course we have 2800 in between that level. Excuse me, always have mouse issues. And then your 30-minute resistance, 29.28 and 29.39. Same thing goes for ES as we covered with RTY. The size of the bounce will determine whether it's a bear flag or are we looking for an EQ. However, odds favor, again, we're trying to paint the picture on the right side of the chart. What's going to happen here? No one knows. And if they tell you they know, they're liars. No one knows. But we're trying to shift the odds in our favor. The odds favor a lower high relative to this 29.28. And the Dow. The Dow, we didn't make it to the 0.618 retracement. Again, it's quite weak compared to the other sectors. It's just kind of bebopping here on the 50% retrace, finding resistance at the 12 EMA. Your resistance on shorter term time frames, support 23.428, 23334, and your resistance 24293 and 24471. Bonds. This is just a quick call out on bonds. As analysts, we have subjective, I don't want to say authority, but latitude to say, okay, this was a double top and we broke it. So this was double top, so this was 183.02. We broke 182.31, but is that really a break? That was a break without follow through. So I am calling this a double top. So we have a daily EQ on bonds. So we have this resistance at 183.02 and we have the support at 177.14. My goal, my dream would be for this to continue to tighten. The tighter it could get, that would be just amazing. What you want when you're a trader, especially if you're a day trader, is the longer in place, the higher in space. Longer in place, higher in space. And the same thing holds true to the downside. If this thing were to tighten up for fewer weeks on end to the downside, it could rip off your face. So rip off your face or higher in space. Either way, we have some nice tightening patterns on ZB. And also ZB can be traded through TLT to the long side and TBT to the short side for you non-futures traders. And finally, we have the Hang Seng. Hang Seng, I just wanted to show you that we have a daily inside bar, and those levels are 24468, 24001, and the level of this bar 24352 and 24103. And as you can see, this bounce is much weaker compared to the US markets. They're getting karate chopped to the throat with a 12 EMA. So, and it has barely even made it to the 50% retrace again, which shows weakness compared to these for relative U.S. markets. Well, I hope you found this helpful. And as always, I'm welcome to your feedback, and I look forward to seeing you around.